Kindly subscribe to YouTube channel and follow on Facebook page at Dr. Zabby's Talk Show.
Ẹ wo fọ́nrán yìí díẹ̀ kí n tó ṣàlàyé ohun tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ńbẹ̀. Hey, kẹ́rẹ́ o, kéku ilé kó gbọ́ kó sọ fún toko o, ọgbọ́dọ̀ tún lòrè o, báwa bá ṣe ń gbọ́ àjẹkẹ́ máa gbọ́. Arábìnrin tí ẹ̀ ń wò yìí, ó ń ta ọjà ni. Arákùnrin kan sì wá, ó wá ra ọjà lọ́wọ́ rẹ̀. Nígbà ra ọjà tán, ló bá wo owó tó wà lọ́wọ́ rẹ̀. Olówó òun ò pé, wọ́n wò rárá wọn ò rí POS. Ó bá ní, ìkan bẹ ní ìsàlẹ̀ lọ́hùn kóun lọ gba owó wá. Ọmọ rẹ̀ ìyá ìbáwò pé kó má gbé owó òun lọ, ló bá ní kọ́mọ òun tẹ̀lé kó lọ gba owó òun wá. Wákàtí kan lọ kò rọ́mọ, ló bá tají pé ẹgbàá mẹ́mọ́dà bó ṣe sáré kẹ̀rẹ̀kẹ̀rẹ̀ rèé o. Àwọn tí ń bẹ láìgbè tí ń ṣe POS dákun ọmọ mi o lọ bá ní wọn máa rọ́mọ gbogbo ara ọjà ṣe pélé lórí bó ṣe dákú gbọrangandan rèé o. Wọ́n ti domile lórí, ó ti lajú ilẹ̀ rí yìí o. Ohun tó wá dùn mí jù bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni wípé ṣé ẹ rí ariwo tí wọ́n ń palẹ̀ lórí lọ́jà òun kì í ṣe pé wọ́n bá ń kẹ́dùn òun, wọ́n ń bá a wí ni. Wọ́n ń sọ̀rọ̀ sí yàlàyàlà pé ó ṣe wá ṣerú ẹ̀, ó sì ní kọ́mọ tẹ̀lé bí ìgbà tó jẹ́ pé àwọn náà ò lè ṣerú ẹ̀ kọ́ ló má jẹ́ kó fi tiwa sàrí kọ́gbọ́n. Wọ́n ń sọ̀rọ̀ burúkú fún bí ọ̀rọ̀ lóyìnbó wọ́n ní insult upon injury. Ọ̀rọ̀ burúkú gbàgbé ọ̀rọ̀ lọ sọ pé irú wa wo nu bó ṣe mọ bí ìlú ìṣerí ó ṣe wá ní kọ́mọ tẹ̀lé nìkan tó mọ̀ rí nǹkan kan ó ṣe fúnra ara rẹ̀ tẹ̀lé. Ọlọ́run jẹ́ ká kọ́ fi tiwa sàrí kọ́gbọ́n o. Ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ nínú ìtàn yìí o, ká sì pín káàkiri, ẹni tó kàn ló mọ̀. Aburú ò ní kàn wá o. Ẹ dákun gbogbo àwọn olólùfẹ́ yín pátápátá ni kẹ́ ẹ pín fọ́nrán yìí lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ wọn. Torí àwọn mi ò tí ì mọ̀ pọ́gbọ́n mi ìtúre báyìí o. Wọ́n láwọn ń tajà, wọ́n ń sọ̀rọ̀ ajé ni wọ́n á ní kọ́ ọmọ lọ gbowó. Ẹ dákun o, ẹ pín.
Ẹyin tó bá mọ òun ara ẹ̀ ń sìn tó lọ́mọ ń lé kó fa àwọn tó níyàwó lé kó fa àwọn létí torí tó bá ṣẹlẹ̀ àwọn ọlọ́run jẹ́ kápáká. Ẹ̀yin tẹ̀ ń jẹ indomie tẹ bá máa ṣe indomie fọ́mọ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà bá fẹ́ jẹ ẹ kọ́kọ́ sí ẹ pàbọ́ ilẹ̀ kẹ́ yọ́ mi burúkú yẹn dànù kẹ́ṣẹ̀ wá ṣàn kẹ́ṣẹ̀ wá gbé sórí iná fresh kẹ́ṣẹ̀ wá sí omi tó ẹ kọ́kọ́ máa hó pẹ̀lú yẹn ẹ sọ kalẹ̀ kẹ́ yọ dànù kẹ́ ṣàn indomie yẹn kẹ́ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ tí wọ́n á tún sè. Lẹ́yìn yẹn kẹ̀rí ẹ fẹ́ ra ẹran lọ́jà, ẹran tẹ̀ bá ti rí iṣẹ́ lórí ẹ̀ kókun ẹ má dédé ẹ̀. Ṣé ń gbọ́ mi? Nítorí most of àwọn tó ń tẹ ẹran lọ́jà yìí ẹ̀yin ń confess fún mi lọ́jà ń bí láìpẹ́ yìí nígbà tí mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní interrogate ẹ̀ ó lé ọ̀gá is true they do am here but me I no dey follow them do am. Ó lè kí wá wo freezer àwọn mo dẹ̀ lọ síbẹ̀ ó ṣí mo rí blọọkù ńbẹ̀ lóòótọ́. Tẹ bá kó 20 èèyàn sílẹ̀ lọ́jà tó ń tẹ ẹ̀rọ bóyá lè máa rí èèyàn mẹ́ta tó ní fridge. Nígbà tó bá di lálẹ́ èyí tó bá kù wọ́n á mú formalin wọ́n á fi pa tó bá lékè náà fi máa ń preserve òkú wọ́n á fi pa wọ́n á jù síbi kan tó bá jọ́ kejì ọba gbé sórí igbá ṣíṣí kan ní lórí ẹ̀ ó ti di májèlé fẹ́ ṣinṣin. The same thing pẹ̀lú ṣàkì tẹ́ ń wò yẹn náà ṣàkì tẹ́ bá rí ṣàkì tó ń fọ̀ tó funfun dáadáa lórí káńtà ẹ lọ́ọ́ ra ẹ tó dọ̀tí yẹn kẹ́ lọ ṣe fúnra yín lé lórí yẹn ipo náà fi ń fọ̀ wọ́n fi yẹn tún attract customer ni. Sọ̀rọ̀ mi yé yín sìn tomato alágolo ẹ má bá wọn rà mọ́ o magista ẹ má bá wọn fi ṣe bẹ̀ mọ́ o tí ọba Buhari nìyẹn o leukemia ẹ má bá wọn ra tomato alágolo mọ́ àti magista o ẹni tó bá gbọ́ ó gbọ́ fẹ́lẹ̀ dá ẹ ni o tó bá ṣẹlẹ̀ báyìí ṣé ẹni tó ń bẹ Ọlọ́run ló máa lówó tó láti fi tọ́jú ara ẹja tútù ice fish tẹ́ bá ti rà á wáyé dandan pé ẹ fẹ́ máa ẹ̀ ń jẹ́ tẹ́ bá ti rà á ẹ gbómi kaná kó hó tómi yẹn bá ti hó ẹ sọ kalẹ̀ kẹ́ dẹja yẹn sínú ẹ̀ kẹ́ dé ẹ jẹ́ kó tutù kẹ́ wá kẹja yẹn kúrò nú ẹ̀ kẹ́ wá tún ẹja yẹn sàn kẹ́ tó sè. Tẹ́ bá ní igi ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ lẹ́yìn ìgbòlé lẹ́yìn tẹ́ bá da omi yẹn síbẹ̀ ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ yẹn máa wálẹ̀ ní ọwọ́ ẹ̀ máa wálẹ̀ ní kẹ́ lè mọ nǹkan tẹ́ ń fẹ́ tọ́lọ́run yọ kúrò lọ́rọ̀ yín ní ẹja tútù. Òróró náà dẹ̀ rèé ẹ bá fẹ́ ra òróró ẹ má máa ra òróró tó ń dì sínú bottle water lọ́jà yẹn mọ́ torí most of them transformer oil náà fi mix ẹ̀. Ìyẹn ló ṣẹlẹ̀ ní last year October tí gọ́vùnà Maiduguri ti declare emergency lórí kidney failure tó ń ṣò lórí NTA news tí bá mú ọmọdé àgbàtà arúgbó ló wà ń bẹ̀ rẹpẹtẹ ńlẹ̀lẹ̀ báyìí tó ti ní kidney failure nítorí ṣe làwọn tó ń dín nǹkan tà wọ́n máa ń mix òróró pẹ̀lú transformer oil tó fi ń dín nǹkan tó ń tà ni.
Ẹni ọmọ yẹn olólùfẹ́ yín ààyè ọ̀pẹ ẹ̀yọ̀ ṣùgbọ́n lọ́dọ̀ títí yín náà eléyìí ló ń pè ní wípé ó gbẹnu tán tàbí kò gbẹnu tán. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí mo ṣe máa ń sọ tẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ wípé ọ̀rọ̀ tí mo máa ń sọ ní gbogbo ìgbà ni. Ìgbà wo la fẹ́ débẹ̀ mi ò mọ̀, àkókò wo ni mi ò mọ̀, bọ̀ kí ni mo mọ̀? Mo mọ̀ wípé a máa débẹ̀ sẹ́. Ó ń ṣọmọ olókùú bẹ́ẹ̀ ni a lè sín pẹ̀lú òkú ẹ̀. Mo rò pé gbogbo wa la rí bó ṣe ń lọ. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí mo ṣe máa ń sọ wípé ilé ayé ò ṣe gbé, ọ̀run ò ṣe bínú lọ. Ìlú òyìnbó gan kò ṣe gbé. Nàìjíríà ò ṣe bínú lọ. Áfíríkà ò ṣe bínú lọ. Kí la wá fẹ́ ṣe báyìí? Mo kí wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí tó bá jẹ́ nípa àkọ́kọ́ tẹ́ ẹ̀ ṣe darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí ìkànnì àti máa ń gbóríṣiríṣi ètò yẹ̀wò yìí. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sí orí ìkànnì wa. Ẹ má gbàgbé láti bá wa subscribe. Ẹ̀yin tó bá lè jẹ́ wípé ẹ̀yin tiwantiwa, ẹ̀yin àmì bàbá mi, ẹ má gbàgbé láti bá wa tẹ like kó tó di wípé a tiẹ̀ lọ sí ojú agbami ètò. Èwo la fẹ́ sọ ń bẹ̀? Ṣé lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Nnamdi Kanu ni? Àwọn pípò yìí mọ̀ nǹkan tó ń ṣe. Politics ni. Ọ̀tá èèyàn tàbí ọ̀rẹ́ èèyàn, ọ̀rẹ́ ẹ̀ tó bá ti lọ darapọ̀ mọ́ ní ọ̀rọ̀ politics dé mọ̀ wípé bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní máa sá fún un. Kò sí èèyàn rẹ̀, kò sí pé bóyá especially ní Nàìjíríà yìí, ẹni tó jẹ́ èèyàn rẹ̀ tó fẹ́ lọ, tó bá jẹ́ èèyàn rẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ ó máa yí padà sí èèyàn burúkú. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ lọ gbọ́ nǹkan tí àwọn ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń sọ. Ó dàbí èèyàn kan tó ní wọ́n ń pààyàn níbì kan, wọ́n ń ṣe kinní kan, àwọn ará ìṣògbé wọn ò lè gbé. Ẹ ti gbàgbé níbi 2 years ago. Àwọn nǹkan tán gbé ẹmọye tán fáìn ní China wọn. Wọn ò lè jẹ́ kán gbé mọ́. A mà ti wọ one chance o. Bọ̀ mo mọ̀ wípé kò lè máa rí báyìí lọ. A máa bọ́ nínú ẹ̀ lọ́jọ́ kan. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. A máa bọ́ nínú ẹ̀ ní ọjọ́ kan. Bọ̀ ìyẹn kọ́ ni mo mú wá gangan lọ́jọ́ títí òní. A máa gba ibẹ̀ yẹn wọlé ni. Nǹkan kan ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nílùú òyìnbó lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí. Kó dẹ̀ ẹṣẹ̀ máa ṣẹlẹ̀. Bọ̀ gbogbo ìgbà náà ló dàbí pé ó ń wúyọ, ó máa ń wúyọ. Kò dẹ̀ ń ṣe wípé UK nìkan àti ní US náà ní nǹkan yìí ló ti ń ṣẹlẹ̀. Fídíò méjì ni màá gbé wá lẹ́yìn fídíò ti Arise yìí. Ẹ ní ìdí láti wo fídíò méjèèjì yìí. Ẹ jẹ́ ká wá lọ pàdé nínú comment section. Ojú wo lẹ fi wò, ojú tẹ bá fi wò, ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ fílẹ̀ nínú comment section.
Daily Trust was reporting live bullets, live rounds being fired. Is this how to go? The same people that shut this country down for 2 weeks, Jonathan did not go after them like this. A lot of the people that protested Occupy Nigeria morphed into what's in the APC today. We saw how they had a series of protests then. Were these not the same people that protested and put Jonathan's head and call him all sorts of names, Jonathan Haram and everything? Did they stifle their voices this way? So this high-handedness we practice in the name of democracy will not get anywhere.
Let's begin what's trending. As today marks the 5th anniversary of the EndSARS protest and the tragic Lekki killings of October 20, 2020, we pay tribute to victims of SARS and honor the legacy of a movement that captured global attention. The EndSARS protest brought together millions of young Nigerians demanding an end to police brutality and government accountability. The Soros-Soke and Coconut Head generation took to the streets in peaceful demonstrations that culminated in the tragic events at Lekki toll gate where protesters were shot at by security forces. Let's bring you a recap.
Our top story at this hour is our central story that is still developing and unfolding tonight. Sounds of gunfire have exploded on the streets in Nigeria's commercial capital Lagos as troops opened fire on protesters there. There are reports of people killed and wounded as the Nigerian authorities move to end increasingly violent protests against police abuses. Riot police have been deployed across the country and a curfew has come into force in several states. We have special coverage tonight as Nigeria witnesses a major escalation after 2 weeks of protests against police brutality. But still, the protesters have remained on the streets.
Look at Lagos, ladies and gentlemen, look at over there. Look at Lagos is on fire. They blocked everywhere.
Despite video and pictorial evidence, the Nigerian army has denied opening fire and killing peaceful EndSARS protesters at Lekki toll gate in the nation's commercial capital, Lagos. for the Sumba movement. As we mark this significant milestone, activist Wahala Re O has moved to organize a protest against the detention of the leader of the indigenous peoples of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, around Asiri Rock, the National Assembly Complex, Force Headquarters, the Court of Appeal, Eagle Square, and Shehu Shagari Way has been met with reactions. The Nigerian police force over the weekend urged demonstrators to respect the court order restricting protests around key government areas. Police spokesman Benjamin Hundeyin, while acknowledging citizens' rights to peaceful assembly and expression, stated that such rights must be exercised responsibly and within the limits of the law, particularly where public safety, national security, and the rights of other citizens are concerned. I mean, this statement has elicited reactions, and I'll take some posts on X. This is from Obiora, who wrote on X, with due respect to the Inspector General of Police, the places mentioned in this release, Asiri Rock Villa, the National Assembly, the Court of Appeal, Force Headquarters, Eagle Square, and Shehu Shagari Way are not private estates. They belong to the people of Nigeria. The citizens built them, funded them, and ultimately own them. Therefore, the right to peacefully assemble in those places is not a privilege to be granted by the government. It is a constitutional right that must be protected, not suppressed. If we are to speak of court orders, then we must remember that the same judiciary has discharged Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on 2 separate occasions, yet the government continues to detain him in clear defiance of those rulings. Selective obedience to court orders undermines the very foundation of justice and erodes public trust in both the government and law enforcement. Nigerians are not asking for chaos. They are asking for fairness, equity before the law, and accountable governance. A government that has nothing to hide should have no fear of its citizens expressing dissent. Protests are not a threat. They are feedback, a mirror reflecting issues that require urgent attention. It is a sign that all is not well in the land. True leadership listens, not silences. The strength of any democracy lies not in the number of armed officers deployed to suppress voices, but in the courage of those in power to hear uncomfortable truths and act justly. Another ex-user wrote, this statement from the Nigerian police force is a welcome reminder that the rule of law must guide every action in our democracy. Upholding court orders is crucial for maintaining order and preventing chaos. However, it's equally important that law enforcement officers carry out their duties with professionalism, restraint, and respect for the constitutional rights of citizens to peaceful assembly and free expression. Peaceful protest remains a legitimate democratic tool for citizens to express their grievances, provided it is conducted responsibly and within the law. The police must therefore balance firmness and fairness, ensuring that while security and public order are protected, voices of the people are not unjustly silenced. Ultimately, both the citizens and the police share a common responsibility to ensure peace, justice, and respect for the Constitution for the Constitution to prevail in our nation. I believe that's what the ex-user is trying to say. Rufai, we know the EndSARS movement, represented a defining moment for Nigeria's youth generation that, leveraged social media and organized this protest that captured international attention. It is quite, glaring at this moment that the rule of law has to prevail in the land. And, I do admire activist Wahala Re O for actually tying in this protest with the injustice as it seems. Rufai, your comment, and I'll come sit with you.
I mean, it's apt to protest when people have grievances, and that's why we have a democracy. Yeah. And that's why I condemn any form of, military government. Correct. Because it's a democracy, people can protest. But in a democracy, when people protest and you stifle their voice and you kill them, it makes us get sad and even question if we're practicing democracy. And you see, I'm particularly miffed by the way they've started to stifle protests. Just this morning, what happened? Someone went out with people to protest, and the next thing, tear gas. Daily Trust was reporting live bullets, live rounds being fired. Is this how to go? The same people that shut this country down for 2 weeks, Jonathan did not go after them like this. A lot of the people that protested Occupy Nigeria morphed into what is the APC today. We saw how they had a series of protests then. Were these not the same people that protested and put Jonathan's head and called him all sorts of names, Jonathan Haram and everything? Did they stifle their voices this way? So this high-handedness we practice in the name of democracy will not get anywhere. You remember the first anniversary after EndSARS, that Femi had to stand tall with the police officer. People were tear gas. Mr. Macaroni packed up in a bus. People must have the right to protest. What are they protesting for? Nnamdi Kanu. People have talked about the political solution on this one, because while you talk about Nnamdi Kanu, what he did is unfair, you are also seeing a lot of heinous crimes being perpetrated by bandits, and they're having peace meetings. But in this country, some people have more power over the others. Like I've repeated, I have not said everything.
Abah hankali. a ba hankali.
The Kanu did was good. I disagree with some of most parts of his advocacy. But what you cannot deny, Nnamdi Kanu, are people not being marginalized in this country? Are people not being killed in this country? So as long as that is happening and you don't have a level of fairness, then you're saying people should not talk? So I keep asking, which kind of democracy do we even practice? When it suits them, they talk. When it doesn't suit them, they go the other way. So please, people should be allowed to protest. Police should be there to protect them. I remember the famous protest when Chuba Okadibo and Buhari went to protest in Canada, they refounded them. That was where Femi Falana went to court and he got that judgment. You shouldn't stifle protest. But what do we see? We see always attempts to stifle protest. What was the need? Going the way of tear gas canisters and the likes. What was the need? And you see, in any democracy, there must be protest. That's why the Americans are speaking up.
Yes, speaking about
no kings.
Yes.
And we must not have kings in this country. They say they should not go around the people's house. It's the presidential villa, not the people's house. No, in other parts of the world, those people go to the White House, and the president will even take them on tours. Right. But you can't see this country.
All right. Well, speaking about that, and speaking about stifling protests, you just mentioned no kings. Speaking about protests in the United States, millions of people attended protests over the weekend against President Donald Trump's administration in the second rounds of no kings demonstrations across all 50 states. The widespread rallies aim to broadly reject what organizers describe as Trump's increasingly authoritarian agenda. The protests, which originally began in June, follow sweeping ICE raids and troop deployments in Democrat-led states. The protests come against the backdrop of a federal government shutdown, with GOP lawmakers and the White House in a standoff with Democrats.
This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Get loud for our democracy. Release. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Get loud for our democracy.
Limbai, look at that. It is reported that about 7 million people participated in the protests. Trump and Republican leaders have labeled the protests as anti-American. However, we saw states like Idaho, a deeply conservative state, turn out dozens of protesters. The scale and organization of these demonstrations reflect deep political divisions in America, with citizens exercising their constitutional rights, even as political leaders debate the legitimacy and impact of mass protests on governance and national unity. You didn't see where they tried to stifle this protest. Across all 50 states, yes, we saw some police out there, but This is their constitutional right, Vimbai.
I think this is the key takeaway. Whether you're pro or anti this protest, the takeaway is that it was allowed to happen. It was done so in an orderly way. We get to hear, reports of skirmishes with the law enforcement officials and so forth. And this is in essence what people are saying. People are saying that whether you stand with us or whether you don't agree with our cause, we should still be allowed to express ourselves in a free way and in an orderly and secure way. Now, for me, what's happening in America is something that I've drawn parallels with Nigeria on several occasions, especially because we exercise the presidential system of governance. And of course, we know what's the tension that's currently happening between the center, the federal center, Donald Trump, and opposition states, with regards to security issues, with regards to a number of other ideological differences. And now this is culminating in people coming out to say, well, we feel that this government is becoming increasingly authoritarian and we disagree with this. Of course, the response from Donald Trump is that, well, all of this is sponsored, it's anti-American and it's just sponsored to make me look bad. But the takeaway is the fact that the people are allowed to take to the streets and express themselves, whether they are sponsored or not, whether they stand right or not. History will judge them, and history on several occasions has vindicated millions of Americans who have come out to protest in the streets to be able to voice their concerns. Now, the deepest concern in the global south is a phenomenon called hijacking protests that we see. We've seen protests become increasingly violent in a number of places. Now, it's almost like it's like a catch-22 situation, because the more you stifle these outings, the more people are going to become aggressive in wanting to come out. What are some examples? You look at Kenya, you look at Nepal, there's several examples that we can look at where protests have turned extremely violent, and that is because there's a huge attempt to try and quell them. There's a huge attempt to try and take away people's rights to protest, and of course the outcome of that is violence. I hear in Abuja a number of people have been arrested this morning. That's besides the tear gas and the bullets that are flying around. And I just say, why can't we just trust our security services to ensure that protesters are kept safe, that they stick to whatever demarcated area has been allotted to them? That's most importantly. And number two, it does not need to degenerate. This narrative of protests being hijacked is an unfortunate one, and it needs to be brought to an end. And it's up to the police to protect protesters so that it doesn't degenerate and it doesn't get hijacked by those other people who have their own agenda.
Well said, Vimbai. And that I believe Amoy Eleshore was saying that he hasn't been served any court order at the moment. So, we're waiting to see the developments of the story. And RICV will bring you guys up to speed.
Oh, now remember this man where be say he there among people where Tinubu gave presidential pardon. This man now confirmed person where be say if they corrupt people, they take them inside bush. You go they call ransom of 50 million, 100 million, 200 million. See, around 2013, where be say police arrested him, and since then he have been inside. So around that time, this man where be say he be Sam Mike also come was among his victim. Or ya make una listen when Mike was released after paying the ransom of 40 million naira. When he come out, what did he talk about this man? Make una listen to this video to the end and know if Tinubu was right by releasing or giving pardon to this particular man. Make una listen to it.
He said, Oga, people like saying armed robbers. So. Then I said, then turn the car, reverse. As he put it on reverse, a gun was on my head. Automatic weapon. And they said, don't move. If you move an inch, we blast you. I told Chinedu, don't move. They dragged me out of the car. Dragged Chinedu out of the car. Shot the tire of the vehicle. Put Chinedu in the boot of the car. And put me inside the car. They met another driver inside. They said if we dare look up, they will kill us. We close our eyes. And we were pressed to the ground inside the car. As we were pressed down, I heard them say, oh, police, 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 police. Then one of them said, no retreat, no surrender, let's meet them. Because I couldn't look up, apparently, they moved out of the car. And I could hear guns booming. It was a staccato of bullets raining. Here comes Armageddon. It was a war situation. And they were firing. And as they were firing, the car was moving. They were telling them advance, advance a little. Then I heard them shout again, another vehicle, shoot. Then they started another round of. And then I heard them say, oh, we killed some of them. We killed some of them. Then tomorrow now, they will come out and lie and say some of us were killed or injured, even though none of us have been injured. I heard them saying that. It was when we were in the car with eyes closed that they started preliminary questions. What is your name? I say Chief Michael Zekome, SAM.
Now tell me if this man deserve this pardon where President Tinubu give him. Tell me on the comment section, and also do well to share this video.
I make mistake and I pay the penalty for that mistake. And the penalty when I pay for that mistake, I make I no want make you make the same mistake. I just come back from Nigeria some few days ago now with a heavy heart, because you know why? I made a very grievous mistake. When I did leave Nigeria in my early age, I was very young when I left Nigeria.
Okay.
And one of the things and reason why I leave Nigeria now, because I want to go find greener pasture.
Okay.
Because I come from a home, abject poverty. Not be just poverty, abject, strong, bullshit poverty. So the desire to go abroad, the desire to travel, go make and come back, come make my parents proud, remove them from suffer, then booga for my guys. That was the foundation of my traveling. And for many years, even though going back home was easy,
okay,
I always had this need and desire, say if I want to return back home, I need to get heaven and earth. You know, when I land for Edo State like this, and I EndSARS supposed to follow me. You know where that landed me?
No.
It landed me in a situation where we say, after solid 12 years, I went back home to see my father's grave. The old man that I wished I would make money, come back and change his life. Na grave I come meet. What am I trying to say is, listen, if you dey abroad, and for even some of una wey dey Nigeria, wey una dey different states, wey una no dey see una parents more frequently, bro, don't be like me. No, don't be like me. You cannot bear the guilt. Forget all those things where you dey imagine, especially this social media, because we in diaspora and social media, they make us they dread Nigeria. Listen, I go Nigeria through road. Like, I wanted to live that experience. I passed the same path when I passed Komot. Although it was not convenient, but I passed them. Situation make me pass them. And trust me, no level. No level. Everything when I did fear about Nigeria was just a wasted emotional thing. Wasted. Listen, let me tell you, you go come realize when you go Nigeria, you don't need millions of dollars to go back home just to see your parents, your living parents, your parents that are still alive. Trust me, see, mobile phone, video call, not be reality. Your mama and your papa will receive a video, they smile, eh? If you see them for real life, you shake your head. They old. See, I lived my life in a way where we say, I always felt like my return back to Nigeria, I suppose land for airport, with enough motorcade or the blue siren, they follow me. I wanted to have so much money that I forgot about the little things. And I don't want me you make that same mistake, bro. You'll regret. You'll regret. If you are in diaspora, try the visit home. See, your parents don't need money from you, especially when you don't stay out so long. See, just a hug, a real life hug. See, when I land for Benin, rapper the fall for my mama's chest, I mean they use my hand, they cover. I say, Mama, I don't show, I don't come back. I not carry block go. Now my mama room I sleep. Now my mama food I eat. Your parents, and most of our parents, at the age we will still leave them, and now they don't survive without you. They just want to see you. They don't need your billions. I swear. I lived in that limbo for many years. See me see home. Ghana to Nigeria. How many minutes to go home? I always be procrastinate. This year, no worry, daddy, this December I go come. Next year, December, I go come. The December, when I could actually come, I grieve, I go see. If I had, like, if there was anything I could do to just see my father one last time, like, for 1 second, I will give everything. but it was too late to cry when the head is off.
I swear.
This should be a motivation for you. Even if you did Nigeria, maybe you did like Abuja, you know they go home. Try your best. If you have not seen your parents in 5 years, try your best. Forget about the financial, forget about the financial cost. Forget about, nobody, all your guys where you live for Nigeria, where you travel that time, they don't move. You don't see anyone safe. Nobody sit down for Nigeria, they wait, maybe you'll be millionaire, come back home, come impress them. When you go back home, you can't even realize it's just all about you and your family. Don't make that mistake. Go home. It's been a while.
Right here is in fun.
Fún platform kejì tí à ń gbé ọ̀rọ̀ bí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀sìn ìgbára ẹni ní ìtúsílẹ̀ ọpọlọ, ìtúsílẹ̀ ọkàn wọ́n ti kó wa sí lọ́dún tó ti pẹ́, wọ́n ti kó àwọn forefathers sí wa sí ní ọdún tó ti pẹ́. Ìkànnì Àjùlọ TV òun lẹ máa ti máa wò. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni a fẹ́ dá gbogbo ẹ̀ pọ̀ mọ́ra wọn gẹ́gẹ́ bí àwọn kan ṣe wà tó jẹ́ wípé ọ̀rọ̀ náà ò tí yé wọn. Wọ́n rí gẹ́gẹ́ bí wípé à ń bá ẹ̀sìn kọjá ní tí ò dẹ̀ rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Ìyẹn ló fi jẹ́ wípé a lọ ṣe ìyẹn lórí ìkànnì Àjùlọ TV. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá fẹ́ máa gbọ́ irú àwọn nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn, àwọn conversation tó jẹ́ live, tó ń ṣe debate yẹn ní live. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, ìyẹn ò ní ká fẹ̀sìn wa sílẹ̀, bọ̀ káwa náà tiẹ̀ jùlọ àwọn nǹkan tá a mọ̀ tó dẹ̀ máa mú ẹ̀rí ẹ̀ jáde. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá fẹ́ mọ̀ pé a ti máa ń gbé wá sílé báyìí tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀, bọ̀ orí Àjùlọ TV ibẹ̀ ni à ń gbé lọ nísìn. Eléyìí jẹ́ fún bó ṣe ń lọ gẹ́gẹ́ bí àwọn nǹkan tá à ń ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ ló jẹ́ pé ọ̀rọ̀ no going back ni, àti ọ̀rọ̀ báwo ni ilé ayé wa, báwo ló ṣe lè gúnrégé àti àwọn nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní agbègbè wa, ṣé ní Nàìjíríà tàbí nínú UK tàbí nílùú òyìnbó ní àpapọ̀. Ìyẹn ni eléyìí, ìyẹn ló wà. Lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run, àwọn ìgbà tó máa jẹ́ mo mọ̀ wípé adùn ló ń gbẹ̀yìn ewúro. A máa débẹ̀, àwọn ìgbà tó máa jẹ́ ni. Àwọn tó wà lórí oyè yìí, ìníwọ̀n làwọn eléyìí o. But ọ̀hún lágbára tó Elédùmarè. Má gbàgbé láti bá wa fi kọ́mẹ̀ntì sí sílẹ̀ dé, má gbàgbé láti bá wa tarí ẹ̀ síwájú. Ire o, orúkọ tèmi ò tí ì yí padà. Tó bá jẹ́ nígbà àkọ́kọ́, èmi ọmọ yín olólùfẹ́ yín, Ayọ̀pẹ̀yẹ Dr. Zabby Talk Show. One love.